Gonna do a little quick project today with the plasma cutter. Basically, we're gonna cut up this wagon, this old steel wagon, and scrap it. It's too far gone. The axles are all locked up and everything. This is on the neighbor's property, and they're trying to clean things up. And I told them I'd help them out by chopping this up into manageable enough pieces so they can take it to the scrapyard with the pickup truck. So I'm making one modification from the other day when I was testing this thing, and I went online and I saw a few people who specifically talked about using this particular Harbor Freight desiccant line dryer, and they said that they found a problem with this particular model. There's what they call a sintered brass filter, a copper filter in there. I don't know if you can see it. It's basically it's a screen, and they found that that was really cutting down the flow rate. So they found that by drilling a small hole in that, they were actually able to reestablish a good flow. So we're going to do that.
Alright, drilled out that little screen, and now I'm holding in the test mode. I'm holding just over 70 psi. That regulator on the back is still not working and making a difference, so at some point I might have to address that. But for right now, I know it should cut at 70 psi. Well, I cut this big corner off, and then decided I wanted to take the fender off, and I was in the process of cutting the fender here, and the tire started to catch on fire, which I certainly didn't want to happen, so I decided I better take the tire off. But the lug nuts are so rusted. First I tried getting at the lug nuts, and then I realized it was going to take me forever to do that. It'd be just much easier to just cut the rim, so that's what I did. I just cut the rim, but I cut it, it's just not quite enough clearance there, so I just got to cut off a little slab here so I have a little bit of room, and I'll pull the whole rim and tire right off. Well, this thing's moving along quite well. I mean, this plasma cutter's making a quick job of this little scrap project. And the other thing that's cool, and I thought I'd mention, is, as I got my grounding clamp, this thing's rusted. It's got paint on it and rust and scale and everything else on it, and this machine just doesn't care. It's not like, they tell you, clean a spot with the wire wheel or whatever so you can get a good ground. A lot of the guys who were watching my stick welding videos were giving me tips, and they were saying that, that's a big problem, poor ground. And with the plasma cutter, I swear it doesn't need a ground, but I know it does. But I'm just saying that, I'm having no trouble at all cutting with this thing. So I just thought I'd mention that in case one of you guys watching noticed that I didn't bother cleaning it. That basically I just figured, hey, I don't want to go through that extra trouble. I'll try it, see if it works, and if it does, then I won't bother. And it does, so I won't bother. That's pretty thick. Well, I'm getting into some heavier stuff now, and grass underneath there is dry, so I'm going to hook the chain back up to it from the loader and lift it back up in the air so I'm not blowing all sparks directly onto this dry grass. Why don't I just start the loader and do it easy? This is probably the thickest cut I've made so far. Right there. I don't know if that's focusing or not, but that's too hot to touch, so I'm not going to touch it with my finger. I'll try and get my finger next to it, but it's my index finger. So I'm set at 40 amps, in case anybody's curious what the settings are, because I've still got my my 12 gauge extension cord on there. Camera shut off right as I was talking. Guess didn't like what I had to say. That's a wrap. It's about lunchtime for me. I come back, I'll throw all these pieces in the wagon, bring it over to his pickup truck and load it up.